Hi, friends. Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Here's what we're discussing today. So I'm being fired, and that's a good thing. And let's talk about it. By way of full disclosure, I should point out that what's happening is they're moving me from a staff position into an of counsel position. And essentially, when that happens, it means that I get paid only for the work that I do, and I'll get paid an hourly rate. And they were also quite upfront by saying, we don't think we're going to have anything to send you, and we don't think we're going to have any work for you to do, but you can still remain on the letterhead and be a part of the team. And if we need you, we'll need you. And if we don't, you're going to have to be okay with that. And I am. I'm tremendously fine with that. All things have both a beginning and an end. In my case, I began with my firm, what is now Bartimus, Frickleton, Robertson, Rader in Kansas City, and what was at the time, in 2000, Bartimus, Frickleton, and Robertson. In January of 2000 is when I went to work for them. I lived in Jefferson City, Missouri, and I handled appeals all over the state. I handled cases all over the state. It was really a wild existence. One day I'm in Neosho doing a deposition. The next day it's West Plains, then up to Palmyra, then back to Jeff City, and then up to Maryville, then to Kansas City for the Western District Court of Appeals, St. Louis for the Eastern District Court of Appeals, Cape Girardeau for a case in federal court down there, back to Jeff City. It was a lot of windshield time. As crazy as it sounds, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the work, and I did a lot of good work for a lot of really good people. People who had been seriously injured, people who had loved ones in nursing homes who were terribly abused and terribly mistreated. I did a lot of depositions. I did a lot of expert depositions. I tried personal injury and contract cases, and then I started handling appeals more or less full time. And I loved what I did. But as I moved more and more into the appeal area, the idea began to form in the back of my mind that, hey, this is all stuff I do from a computer, and other than having to go argue it in Kansas City, St. Louis, or Jeff City, sometimes Springfield, I guess, there really is no reason for me to remain in Missouri because I could work from anywhere and do this. And we had a home in Florida, and so I moved full-time to Florida in 2012 and began to work remotely. And that worked really, really well, right up until 2019, when my boss and former Supreme Court Judge, Chip, retired and moved to Dallas. I guess in a sense we were both chasing the sun. But the other folks continued to send me work to do, and I did it, and I enjoyed it. My senior partner, Jim Bartimus, a guy that I was very loyal to, said, I'm going to do this case in Illinois, but I'm not going to tell him I'm going to do it unless I'm going to have you with me for the full thing. And I said, okay, I'm there. I'm right there with you. He said, you're not going to retire in the middle of this. I said, no, I'll stick with you the whole time. So I did. I got embroiled in this complex antitrust case, and I spent 3 years working that case. First in the Rockford, Illinois federal court, and then later on in the bankruptcy court in Delaware. I fought for the rights of the people who desperately needed a drug that had cost $45 per dose before a drug company had purchased that. And then, when they purchased it, they raised the price to $45,000 a dose. Now, we worked really hard on all of those cases and all of those things, and I really, really enjoyed it. I did vaccine cases, and I'm going to do a video about that here shortly. I did vaccine cases. I did a lot of different things, and I really enjoyed all of the things that I did. But as the other senior partners retired, there was less for me to do. And then early this year, the senior partner, Jim Bartimus, retired. And, the work really fell off after that. Now, my good friend Mike Rader, who is one of the senior partners now, Mike continued to send me work, and I did that work, but and eventually even that sort of dried up because they hired new associates. And when you hire new associates, you want them to do the groundwork so that they learn how to build up a case and prepare it for trial. And a quick note here about my buddy Mike Rader. Mike Rader is an exceptional lawyer. He has many, many gifts, but he doggedly pursues cases. And you may recall seeing in the news several years ago the tragic story of a young man who lost his life on a ride called the Schlitterbahn in Kansas. Mike Rader handled that case and got a very significant recovery for the family in that case in what was a horrific, absolutely horrific case. So I point that out because working with Mike has been one of the highlights of my career. To do that, you can't keep sending stuff to somebody else. You need to let the associates do it so that they learn the job. And it's a very important part of running a firm. And so that was the situation where they basically called me and said, we don't have any work to send you. And we're not going to need you to do that anymore. And it would have been great to be paid for doing nothing. I mean, that's a great gig if you can get it. But that's really the government's thing. The government is the organization that pays people to do nothing. If you are in a business and you are running a business, you pay people to do something, and you don't necessarily keep paying them if they're not turning results for you. And although I had turned a number of really good results in the last couple of years, including an over $1 million verdict, the bottom line was that there just didn't really have enough to keep me busy, and they had other people who could do the work, and they said, we really need to let you go. Now, a lot of people would be upset about that, but I kind of had an inkling. I would call every week and say, hey, what do you need me to do? And the answer would be that old Simon and Garfunkel song, The Sounds of Silence. And like I said, about a week ago, they told me they're not going to need me after July 1. And, you don't pay people, like I said, for things that they're not doing. But since I prefer to work, when things slowed down, I started this YouTube channel, and as it got busier, things at work got slower. One of the things that is a fundamental tenet of my faith and my religious belief is that everything happens for a reason. Now, you may not understand that reason, at least initially, but everything happens for a reason. And because everything happens for a reason, it is sometimes worthwhile to look for explanations for events that may seem bad in the fact that, change is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I believe the acronym CEO best defines it. CEO stands for change equals opportunity. And anytime there is a change, whether it's in the government, whether it's in your business, no matter where it is an opportunity. Back when I worked in the hospital, everybody panicked when they brought in the prospective payment system. But I knew it was an opportunity and that we could tap into the opportunities that were created by that. And it was one of the things that made me a successful healthcare manager. The firm I work for contains people I consider family. Because family is not just DNA. I love those guys like brothers, and I have never had a bad word to say about any of them, and I never will. Because they are doing the right thing to keep the firm going. They hired new associates. They're going to train them. They're going to send them out to do the things that lawyers do and make them into great lawyers. That's how law firms survive and prosper. So I want all of you to understand, I am happy about being let go because it frees me up to do the things I want to do rather than the things I have to do. And I had to continue to work if they were going to pay me. But if they are no longer going to pay me, then I don't really have to work, although if they send me things, I'm sure I will do them because that's the kind of person I am. I never abandon my friends or my brothers, and those guys are both. So one of the things that I want to do is this channel. And with that introduction, one of the things I want to start doing is live streams. Now, I see a lot of other lawyers on here doing live streams, and many of them are very enjoyable, but a lot of them tend to be very long and sort of filled with distractions. In other words, they don't seem to have a theme and they don't seem to progress in any one direction. There are a few notable exceptions, but generally speaking, I don't have a lot of time to watch legal live streams. And so I want to do something a little bit different than that. First of all, a live stream that goes for more than 30 minutes is kind of ridiculous. And it also needs to have some kind of theme. The first thing I'm going to need, though, is some help from my core group of people who have emailed me on the channel. If you're one of the people who's emailed me on the channel and you don't get an email from me by about midweek next week, then let me know. Send me an email and remind me, because I want to start putting together a live stream, and I'm going to send invitations to people who might want to come on and jump on the live stream. I'm going to do a few short ones, a few short live streams to work through all of the technical things so that I understand the technical issues and can do that well, because I don't like to do anything poorly. I'm going to try that first and make sure that I can carry this off. And then if I can, I'm going to do at least one live stream a week. Before I do that, though, I need some feedback. First of all, what is the best day for a live stream? Is it on the weekend when everybody can sit down and enjoy it? Is it midweek? Is it, what day would it be best for you? I know in the South, Wednesday night would not be a good night because everybody goes to church on Wednesday night. Second, what is the best time for a live stream? Should we do it over the noon hour? Should we do it at night, 6, 7, 8? What time? And third, should I pick a topic, for example, the Young Thug trial, and talk about that for 30 minutes and answer people's questions about that and that sort of thing? Or should I simply get on and take questions? Please let me know what you think. And I'd really like for you to email me at the aldewit7@gmail address so that I can collect all of these thoughts and comments in one place. If you would put live stream in the subject, that would really help me. So let me leave you with these thoughts. It's been 34 years since I reinvented that respiratory therapist as an attorney. And now it's time to reinvent that attorney as a full-time content creator. Or maybe I guess the best word is pundit. Now, my friends at Bartimus, Frickleton, Robertson, Rader don't need my assistance at this point. But if you need legal assistance and you're anywhere in the Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Illinois, Tennessee, anywhere in the Midwest, and you or someone you love has been seriously injured, that is an excellent law firm, and they do excellent work. I recommend them highly. And no, this is not a paid endorsement. This is just me telling you that my friends, my brothers in the law, are the very best lawyers I know. And I'm proud of them. I'm kind of sorry I'm not going to be working with them as closely anymore, but I'm proud of them, and I want you to know I wish them the absolute very best and tremendous success going forward. And of course, the reason I wish them tremendous success is because if they have tremendous success, that means injured people, badly hurt people, are going to do good things and be better themselves. So that's what I have for you today. If you have the opportunity today, do a kindness for someone. Doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe buy somebody some flowers. Maybe take somebody a potted plant at work. Maybe somebody who you know needs a friend or who lost a loved one recently. Maybe you send them a card. Do something nice for somebody today. And then come on back here tomorrow and we'll talk about something else terrific. If you like this video, here are a few others you might try, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a terrific day, guys.